we're gonna be comparing 5 of the most used golf balls from Pro V1s all the way down to Kirkland's to decide which one is best for you, whether you swing it slowly or fast. We got both sets of data. Let's go check them out. I'm gonna be going first. I have a slower swing speed. We'll put average swing speed up on the screen. I have an 8-iron. We'll also do average ball spin and carry distance. All right, so for the first ball, let's go over the numbers here. We had the Kirkland. My club speed was around 83 to 85 miles an hour for all of these balls. So that's, pretty good. We want those really close to each other so we get accurate numbers. So let's go over the Kirkland first. Carry distance on average was 142. This was the tied for the shortest golf ball. It did not feel well at all. So average carry, 142, total 151. Ball speed was around 104 on average. Again, really low for these 5 balls. We had backspin on average of 7,390. And yeah, so like I said, shortest flying ball out of all of them, and it did not feel good at all. So on to the second ball, we have the Vice Pro. Again, this one had an average club speed of 85, average carry of 145 yards, total 153 yards. Again, one of the shorter ones, to be expected when it's not a super high value golf ball. Backspin on average was 7,695. That's pretty high. Again, for an 8-iron, I'm using regular flex shaft, so do get a little bit more spin compared to a stiff shaft, but it's still average compared to some of the other balls. Let's go to the Chrome Soft. That had an average carry of 142. That was surprising to me. I thought the Chrome Soft was gonna do a little bit better than it did, but average carry of 142, total 151. And again, that club speed on average was 85 miles an hour. Ball speed for that one was 104.4, just slightly higher than the Kirkland, slightly lower than the Vice, and had an average backspin of 7,400. So again, on average, still like these two, I would say out of those 3, the best feeling one was the Vice, but the numbers definitely, they're right around each other for being the worst. And so those 3 golf balls, probably wouldn't play those on a daily. So when we get down to the higher quality balls, the TP5 and the Pro V1, the TP5 had an average club speed of 83.3. That is the lowest club speed. And yet it's second for the highest, 1 yard off, but TP5 had the carry of 158 yards on average and a total of 168 yards on average. That's about 15 to 17 yards further than those other 3 balls on average. Ball speed, 111 miles per hour on average, which is again like 7 to 8 miles an hour quicker than the other ones. And we had a backspin average of 6,900, which is about 800 lower. So it spins less, goes further. It's to be expected. When you lower the spin, the ball does travel a little bit further. Moving on to that Pro V1, this was the winner by 1 yard. We had an average carry of 159 yards with a total of 169 yards. Average club speed, 84. Again, one of the lower ones. The worst balls had 85 club speed on average. These 2 better balls were 1 mile to 2 miles per hour slower and still carried about 10 yards further. So keep that in mind. Ball speed, again, 111.6. This is the highest average ball speed. And then backspin had an average of 7,000. So I would definitely say it's pretty clear for me, the TP5 or the Pro V1 are gonna be the go-to options, with that 16-yard difference, as well as lowering that spin by about 800 to 900 on average, and just getting about 10 mile per hour quicker on ball speed. So I will definitely be playing a TP5 or a Pro V1 from now on. Now let's hand it over to Jake and see what his numbers are.
Okay, so taking a look at the Kirkland first here. My carry was 166. My club speed was about 90 miles an hour, which was just around average, and ball speed around 116. The Kirkland was all right. It definitely feels kind of like a wannabe Pro V1, but with 6,800 spin, that's kind of low for an 8-iron. So it was all right. Next up with the Vice, carrying about 163. That one performed the least. Total carry 171. Ball speed or club speed was still around 90. Ball speed was 116, so it was slightly less. But the backspin went up a whole 1,000 RPMs. Going into the Chrome Soft, 166, which was just around the same as the Kirkland. Rolled out just about the same. The ball speed was slightly higher, so the Chrome Soft kind of underperformed there. 300 more spin than the Kirkland did. But the Chrome Soft is always a good one. Definitely not one for my play style, but it definitely showed up and did all right. Heading into the top 2 premier balls, we have the TP5 at 169. with 92 club speed. The club speed was definitely up a little bit more there. Not anything that's going to create a drastic change. Backspin was around 7,800 there, so it's just tied with the Vice. It definitely feels like with the TP5 and the Pro V1 that the ball came off the club hotter and better. Like it just, like I said, it feels good. Yeah, I would say out of the Kirkland Vice and the Chrome Soft, I'm definitely gonna pick up probably the Chrome Soft. But in terms of all of them together, I would say I personally think your best ball to pick here for a faster swing speed is going to be a Pro V1 and a TP5 because they're meant for tour players who typically have on average a higher swing speed than amateurs.
So there you have it. With a slower swing speed, you're not going to be getting as much performance out of those lower end balls like the Kirkland, Vice, Chrome Soft as you would out of a Pro V1 and a TP5. That's to be expected. They're the most expensive ball for a reason. They perform well.